Scallops are like the jewels of the ocean. They are so beautiful, and I really only have them on special occasions. When you're cooking with scallops, you want to make sure you do very little to them because they are just so delicate. You want to flash fry them and serve them with ingredients that match nicely, like prosciutto and sage. So big and bold flavours, but it works a treat. So these scallops are actually from WA, from Esperance, and they are just my favourite at the moment. So before we cook them, they're the very last thing we cook. We want to get some beautiful crispy prosciutto. I have about 7 scallops, so we'll need 3 slices of prosciutto, and you want to keep that fat on it because that's going to render and produce a beautiful sauce. So the aim here is to get this really, really fine, so we almost have like a prosciutto crumb as this cooks. So nice sharp knife, and then chop this, even just run your knife through it a few times so we get little flakes of prosciutto. Fantastic. This can go into the pan, and just to give it a helping hand, I'll add some olive oil, some really good quality extra virgin olive oil, and drizzle that. Okay, while that's crisping up, some sage. So a few sprigs of sage, 3 or 4, and this is also a textural component to this dish because we're going to fry it off. And if you taste and smell sage as is, it's quite pungent, it's quite intense, but it does really calm down after it's fried and becomes crispy. And in with the sage, and just pop that on top of our crispy prosciutto and let them cook together. Okay, now that I've given the prosciutto and the sage a bit of a head start, we can add our gorgeous scallops. And we want to cook the scallops majority of the time on one side and then flip them momentarily. You want it to be almost slightly raw in the centre. So in they go. I've got some lemon on standby and some butter to finish them off too. And look how crispy our prosciutto is. Just give that a mix with the sage. It smells so good. And because it is cooked, just gather it together so it doesn't burn. And we'll just pop that to one side to garnish our scallops. Okay, I'll just use a spatula just to turn them over. Oh, look at that colour. They're just gorgeous. So this is where we work fast. We want to turn them, and as soon as you turn them, heat goes off. I'll add a few knobs of butter, 1 or 2. And as that butter melts, we'll add a good squeeze of lemon juice. And what this is going to do is develop a gorgeous sauce. So you can get your spoon and just put the butter to one side and just drench those scallops. It's done. It's the fastest entree you could ever make. I mean, when I make this for my friends, they just love it. So we'll add our scallops to these gorgeous little shells. If you can't get your hands on these shells or your scallops didn't come in the shells, just pop this on a plate and then sprinkle over the prosciutto and sage. I think for presentation, this just looks outstanding. Last little 2. And all of this lemon butter, we're going to drizzle on the scallops just to make little puddles. Finally, our sage and prosciutto. You don't want to overdo it. It's all about small gestures here because don't forget, we really want to show off the gorgeous delicateness of our scallops. So just a small pinch, if you like, of that salty prosciutto and that sage. And the only thing that's missing here is a nice cold glass of champagne. With that, it is just the perfect way to start a party.